Nick Colgan came back from Afghanistan in 2008 with a Bronze Star for heroism and a problem that's destroying his life.
A rocket-propelled grenade hit off the right side of my Humvee, and I didn't realize at the time, but I had suffered a traumatic brain injury. I got home and I couldn't spell my name.
4 years after the explosion, his traumatic brain injury, or TBI, is all-consuming.
My headaches have been so bad lately that I've had to sleep in a closet just to get it dark enough so my head doesn't hurt. My depression's worse than ever.
Worse now than 2 years ago?
All the doctors tell you that it's going to get better, like the brain can heal itself. But here I am 4 years later, and I think this is the worst moment of my experience with a traumatic brain injury.
In sports, including boxing and football, traumatic brain injury has been linked to a condition called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. Symptoms include memory loss, impulse control problems, and depression. In patients with CTE, an abnormal protein called tau damages areas responsible for thinking, judgment, emotion, and personality. In today's study, researchers compared the brains of athletes with known CTE with the brains of 4 Iraq-Afghan veterans who survived IED explosions or multiple concussions. Dr. Lee Goldstein was a lead author.
It's quite striking, and in many ways, the pathology is indistinguishable between the two groups. Whether you've had repeat concussion or whether you've had the blast exposure, we can't really see the difference.
The 4 veterans all developed typical symptoms of CTE and died prematurely several years later. Neurologist Dr. Ann McKee is a co-author of the study.
Well, blast injury, which is causing the same sort of bobblehead effect, only happening over milliseconds instead of seconds, is actually the same injury. It's just happening in a different situation.
Right now, CTE can only be diagnosed after death, leaving Nick Colgan to wonder if he has it or not.
The only thing that scares me most is that I have this and nobody will ever be able to tell me I have it till I pass away.
CTE increases the risk of a person slowly progressing to dementia over several decades. The hope is that by understanding what's going wrong inside brain cells, researchers can develop treatments to interrupt and even repair that damage.
Now, John, there was a study of NFL football players that was released about 3 years ago that said that they were 19 times more likely to develop dementia, like Alzheimer's disease, than people of a similar age. Now, do our troops have to worry about that now?
Well, I think they do have to worry about an increased risk of dementia. Of course, we don't know what percentage increase it is, and Alzheimer's is totally different than CTE. But what's great about this study is it tells us what's going on inside of the brain cells. And once we know that, maybe some of the treatments for Alzheimer's, for example, to get rid of that tau protein we talked about in the piece, can be used to treat CTE.
Fascinating, John. Thank you very much.